Hey guys, how's it going? Well, I just got back from my more or less daily bike ride, and I'm over here on the end of the house. I picked out a spot hopefully will shield me from the neighbor's dog. The only thing we'll have to contend with is the sheep coming home from work, as they do every day, as I did yesterday, as I do tomorrow, as I do the day after tomorrow. But anyway, I thought I'd talk about this bicycle a little bit. This is the one I bought about a couple of years ago from an antique store. I gave about $50 for it. And so I've been riding this bike. I rode it the first year a pretty good bit. And I'd really kind of laid off of it last year. And then this year I've gotten back on it pretty often, and like 3 or 4 days a week at least, probably more like 4 or 5. I've been trying to do it every day. So we've got over here on the other side of those houses over there, there's a little creek. It's called Aldrich Creek, and years ago the city had to come down and work on that thing. They scooped it out and widened it out because it was flooding. Every time they get a rain here, it's flood, and flooding people's houses out. So I think there was a lawsuit. So the city reworked that thing, about 4 miles of it, and in the process, they created a spot for a pathway, an asphalt pathway, and so now there's a good long place to ride a bicycle and walk. So that's what I've been doing. I've been riding that thing a lot. I've been trying to get about 3 or 4 miles a day in on it, and it is helping. I've been dropping some weight, so that's a good thing. So I do it for that and for health and vitality. But something I've realized since I've been dealing with this bicycle, I think as you get older, your skull gets thicker. And the reason I say that is because I was riding this bike, and this thing just seemed like it was getting so hard to ride. It wasn't getting any easier, I'm just, struggling to make it up hills and things, and I have to stand up on the pedals to get up hills and things, and just really not enjoying it. And finally today, after all this time, it dawned on me to see how high the seat was supposed to be on this bicycle. And for my height and the length of my legs, which if anybody cares, I have 33.5-inch long legs. But that combination, this seat is supposed to be where it is here, which is 36 inches from the bottom of that pedal straight up there to that, where my ass is. So needless to say, that thing was not an adjustment. It was like 4 inches too low. So now, after I adjusted it, I can at least pedal this thing and get up to high gear with it, and not be just about to fall over by the time I get back home. So, how long ago should I have done that? About 2 years ago, maybe. And this old bicycle, I've had to do some work on it. I've had to lubricate it. I've had to put new brake shoes on it. I got that old-fashioned dynamo working. It was actually just had a burned-out headlight bulb, but it works. But I've had a lot of issues getting this shifter adjusted. It's got the 3-speed. This is a Sturmey-Archer 3-speed hub. It's not the Shimano. This is a Sturmey-Archer, and these things are just kind of picky about their adjustment. And you make the adjustment right here. This thing here, that's your little chain that comes out of the hub there. But if we can see this, probably not. But let's see if I can make it better here. There we go. That's your lock. That thing there, the larger part where my thumbnail is, that's the lock nut, and it's got a threaded part right here, and this piece here threads on it. That's how you adjust the tension on this whole thing. And there's a real detailed process of how to do this. But I've had just war with this thing, trying to get it to adjust correctly, because I could either get where it would go in low gear easily and slip out of high gear, or it'll stay in high gear and not hardly go in low gear. So I don't know if the cable's just getting stretched on it or what, but I've got it adjusted pretty well now. So, but it, even though I've lubricated this thing, it still squeaks. Sounds like I'm pedaling an old windmill or something sometimes. Squeak, squeak. When the handlebars creak. So they can hear me coming. You know, it's kind of funny. I don't care, but I put this is one of these gel sole butt pads for the seat, because this seat's hard as a rock under here, man. This thing is just no padding on it, so it's still not that comfortable even with this thing on it. But yeah, I read online. I was reading again last night a little bit about these bicycles, and you know, there's people that ask about these bicycles, and there's always this group of people that come on here and they say, hey, I wouldn't give $5 for that bicycle. You know, just running it down, and you know, hey, that bicycle's not worth $50. You know what I get out of that? I don't get so much out of it. I don't worry so much about it, whether it's worth $50 or not. What I get out of that is that these people would be, it's not so much that they're not willing to pay $40 or $50 for this bicycle. They're obviously willing to pay a whole lot more for something else. And, you know, that's fine. If you have that much money, go ahead and do it. But I'm going to ride this bicycle. This thing's 41 years old, and it's still hanging together. And, you know, if you got to go spend $200-300 on a real nice bike with the right kind of name on it, then be my guest. But I'm not going to. You know, that's kind of, you know, today's economics love these people, but I guess the more choices we have, the more that we feel like we need to spend money on something expensive, I guess. But this thing's all right, man. It was made right. And where was this bike made? Oh yeah, right there. Right there, and if it'll pick it up. Almost, come on. I have to read it to you. I'll tell you what, this camera, I sure wouldn't buy another one of these things. Westfield, Massachusetts. This is a Samsung HD camera, and I was looking at some of my old videos when I was picking some of those out from the archives videos, and I was looking through those videos, and I just noticed that Sony camera had such a better picture quality on it, and it wasn't even in HD. You know, they're talking about brake pads, and that's the thing, you know. You get on the internet looking for information on anything, and there's so many people these days with so many opinions, and your head just gets filled with all this crap, and you don't know how to decipher what's worth listening to or what's worth even paying attention to. There's people with brake pads. You'll notice I put on just a normal set of black brake pads from Walmart, and they work fine. They stop this thing with that seat being up like this. This thing stops so quick, it's almost like I'm going to go over the handlebars on it. But you know, people that are talking about brake pads, and I get into this big discussion about brake pads. Oh, you need to use these Salmon brake pads. That's the only kind of brake pad I'd use. You know, just who cares? It's a brake pad. But they're like, oh, that's the only brake pad I use, the Salmon brake pads. And you know why that's the only brake pad you use? Because you heard it from somebody else that that's the best brake pad, so you believe it, and now you know that's the best. Whatever. I don't listen to that crap. So I have plain black brake pads that work perfectly. So, anyway, guess that's my bicycle update. Doing a real good job on the camera. Has anybody counted how many sheep have went past since I started this video in 10 minutes? The sheep, the residents. The residents must go home. So alrighty, well guys, I think we're between thunderstorms. It's been raining all day today for the most part. It slacked off about 3 o'clock. Now it's clouding up again. I think I'm gonna get another shot of it. But Lyle and them's been working on their house over here. I'll tell you what, this is just an observation, but I'll tell you something. I think people these days are getting more and more weird. And maybe I'm one to talk, but I think they are. You know, Lyle doesn't even live here anymore. But like a couple nights ago, I had my car parked out here in front of the house under this tree, which I do that sometimes when it's warm out, so it keeps the sun off of it. And I was about to go to bed. It's probably about 10:30 at night, and I realized I'd left the sunroof open. So, and it unlocked. So I came out here, and I had to turn the ignition key on to get the sunroof closed and all that stuff. So I'm talking about that car there, and it was pointing this way, and his truck's here in the in the driveway. And as soon as, just 2 seconds after those headlights are automatic headlights, so they came on by themselves. Not 2 seconds after that, the garage light comes on. And I don't know if he's looking out here to see what was going on or what the deal was, but I'm thinking to myself, what in the hell is he doing in the garage at 10:30 at night? There's no lights on, just like it is now, except he turns them on. So I was kind of wondering, well, did he spend the night in the garage? Because there's no furniture in that house. They've been rehabbing the whole thing. I mean, why did he spend the night there? I know now why you guys don't want me to pay attention to anybody else, because you've learned something that I haven't yet, and that's that you'll notice how spooky people are if you pay attention to them. Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you one other thing too. I had to stop down there on the trail and adjust my shifter again, and I was pulled all the way over to the right side, almost off the edge of it. And I got that done. I got back on. I was just getting back on my bicycle, and this guy's coming along the same side, you know, on the bike side of it, segregated over for bikes. And he's coming along this side, about to pass me. And just as I got myself back up on the seat and getting ready to pedal off, he passes me. And no kidding, guys, I'm almost sure he said honk when he went past me. Yeah. That's it, honk. I'm kind of trying to wonder why he didn't say beep instead of honk. I was thinking actually about getting a mirror for this thing, because I'm noticing that I've been noticing that when I try to turn my head and look behind me, it's not a problem turning my head, but I tend to wobble a little bit, and I'm afraid I'm going to wreck. So thought about getting a mirror, but the only problem is if I wreck and there's a mirror sticking up and glass in it, what do you think is going to go right through my face? So I think we're not going to get a mirror. Honk. Beep. Oh God. Excuse me, sir, I'm passing you. Beep. Richie. Alright guys, I'm done yakking, so guess I'll go in now. Thanks everybody for watching my rambling video, and have a good one. See you in the next one, guys. Bye bye.